man, we are hot. So let's do...
He shall appear from a far eastern land across the sea.
There we go.
A young man who has yet to know his potential.
You should be able to hear me. Everything should be good.
His potential is a power.
What I'm seeing is ICT. Is that what we're looking at?
Yes.
Not the gameplay as well.
If you want to see the game, you would have to go into Twitch. I can send you that link. But to do that, you would just have to have another browser window open if you want to do that.
Yeah.
Let me do that for you.
Or I could just
You got that. I'm sending you the link right now. I should have thought of that. Here we go. Send you link. Okay, link to that. Boom. There you go. Yeah, that way you can see all the chat happening as well.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. So, I know people are going to be joining now. I just went live. We have the amazing Corey Marshall with us tonight, the voice of Ryohazuki from Shenmue. I'm just going to say enough said on that. I mean, he's here, guys. So, he's also going to be watching the stream live, so he'll be able to answer any questions while we play Shenmue 1 on the Dreamcast. Just want to give a big thank you to him for doing this. This was literally probably the best stream I'm ever going to have because I get to meet one of my heroes. I've been playing Shenmue since it came out. So, just a huge thank you to him for taking the time to spend with me in these trying times. We're going to be playing Shenmue together. So...
Hey. Nice. Hey, Benjamin, thank you, man. Thanks for having me. I appreciate you doing all this. I'm looking forward to us playing a little Shenmue together. Doing it old school style. That is awesome. And yeah, I'm looking forward to talking to everybody and answering everybody's questions and yeah, just hanging out with the Shenmue family.
Whew. So one of the scariest openings in history, seeing Ryohazuki's family crest from his dojang knocked down with that black car right there.
Yeah, and that signifies what's going on, right? Like it's not just a mysterious car. Like the name is broken, right? That definitely says some sort of malice toward the family name, right? So there's definitely more than just some dude rolled up with his car. You're already seeing that something mad's going down before we can see Enoch on here, huh?
Yeah. I still remember seeing this for the first time and thought to myself, I'm like, we're never going to see anything better than this graphically. Just that cool.
Yeah, I remember seeing it for the first time as well. And yeah, when you have that type of open world and seeing these graphics and stuff, and like the snow in the background and all that kind of stuff, it was definitely. Oh, and when we're talking about the perspective as far as these buildings are concerned and pull back the camera, I mean, we're talking like like cinema level techniques, right? This is, we talk about this stuff when we talk about making good movies, right?
Yeah. It's also like the detail on Ryohazuki, like the veins on his hands, the fact that that you just saw his scowl just there when he's walking in once Fukusan gets knocked out, and then seeing this guy who I thought at first was a young Lao Chan from Virtua Fighter. I was like, Lao Chan's young. Oh.
It's a prequel.
Stay back, Mule.
Oh God, this scene.
Yeah, you're right. Like we're seeing these, even the textures on the faces, right? You were talking about the scowl, but when I just close up on Iwao there, you can see like the age in his face. You know what I mean? It's part of the texture that they laid onto his face, that kind of thing. Or even here in the clothes, you start to, you see not just the movement of the gi itself, but you see the old neck.
And you can like tell that that Lon D, like you can tell that his outfit is made of silk. Like you're able to see the silk, like how you just said it. You literally took the words right out of my hand. That when he's moving around, his gi or his outfit is bending with him, like those types of physics. And it's absolutely crazy. Like this, the eye look, which I know they got a lot of that inspiration from Virtua Fighter 3, because I remember there was always that crazy rumor that Virtua Fighter 3 came out because they wanted to test facial recognition so they can see how the eyes would adjust to light, how they can make muscle movements.
And over the mirror.
This scene is...
Or else
Look at this.
your son.
Yeah, you know, I remember talking to somebody just the other day about this particular scene, and I thought, you know, there are certain hints of supernatural powers and abilities and all that kind of stuff throughout the game. It's not overt, right? Not like a hard, you know, like hard magic system, or you know, it's not like Harry Potter or something like that. But it's kind of like this the hidden strength that and I remember that scene in particular. I was like, I remember he picked up Hazuki from the floor with one hand. You know?
Yep.
And I think he's right-handed. He ends up picking it up with his left hand, which is his offhand or weak hand, and I was thinking, dude, you have to know, oh, this dude's not just a regular guy. He's something different. He's something special. He's got some kind of, you know, magic energy or something going on. Some kind of she or some sort of something otherworldly going on. Because it's not like throughout all of Shenmue you get, you know, you don't get magic points. You know what I mean? To you get your opponents. You're on your quest to strengthen your own body, but you know, there's a reason that Hazuki is not a match for Lon D yet, and I think it's because Lon D is he's got something special going on here that we may not be aware of yet. So I think that will have to kind of tie into the future for anybody who hasn't played yet. I don't know where you've been, but if you haven't played 1 or 2 yet, then you know, you guys might be in for I don't know, for a surprise in a way, because
What are you saying?
I tell people, you know, if you like where video games are today, if you like open world, if you like being able to run around and go wherever you want and all that kind of thing, you have to realize that because of games like Shenmue that we have the ability to do that stuff now, you know.
Father.
It's not just you know, it's not just side quest or side scroll anymore, but because of the pillar that Shenmue is, we have fantastic games today because of games. So if anybody's ever curious why, if you're a new gamer, or if you're new to Shenmue itself, if anybody is curious why they play Shenmue 1 and Shenmue 2, yeah, that's why, because Shenmue is one of those games that ended up changing the world of games.
You're so right, and it's funny. You're kind of taking the words out of my mouth in those regards. Like, even if you look at the things in Shenmue that we took for granted, like the QuickTime events. Like, look at games like Resident Evil now. QuickTime events are a thing in Resident Evil because of Shenmue. The foundations of Shenmue pretty much paved the way for everything that we play nowadays. The elusive story writing, weather patterns, the ability to make choices that can determine what's going to happen to your character. Like games like Heavy Rain came from Shenmue.
Yeah.
And these dreams, I still remember getting Virtua Fighter 3 on Dreamcast, and it came. I ordered the Japanese version of Virtua Fighter 3 TB, and it came with a disc called Project Berkeley. And I remember booting it up, and you see a very early rendition of what Shenmue was going to be, and they were literally calling it Project Berkeley when it first came out. And it was that scene where Lon D is fighting Iwa Hazuki, and then he gets pretty much one-shotted, And then after he gets one-shotted, Ryu is on the ground holding him and screaming, and I just remembered that scream like you just did, where he screams father. Like, you doing that like haunts me, because that's the pain of watching your life destroyed. He's an 18-year-old kid. He's now orphaned. His father, who was his teacher and his only parent, is no longer here, and now he has to try to figure out what he needs to do. And you captured that. Like, the voice is what really made the game. You feel the pain, and it's like he was an 18, it's like you found a way to make an 18-year-old into a 40-year-old. He needed to grow up within that instance of his whole entire life breaking. He needed to grow up, and you see it with, like, when he's talking to, like, Nozomi. Like, he just doesn't care anymore. He doesn't look at anything but, I need to avenge my father. And probably one of the most poignant voice scenes that you have, and we're getting a little far into the game, but it's when you meet Guizhong and Master Chen, and you go to Master Chen and you ask him for help, and Guizhong is like being standoffish, and Master Chen's like, I can't help you, and then Guizhong's like, yeah, we can't help you, pretty much get out of here. And you go, what if it was your father? And he looks over at his father and realizes, what if that was my father that suffered the same fate as Iwao Hazuki? Because that is the Chinese counterpart to him. They're both amazing martial art masters that know each other. So what if that was my dad? Like, what? And you captured that anger, and that you feel his, like, even when he's playing video games, like, there's just a way of, he's supposed to be happy and he's not anymore. Like, he can't be who he is anymore because he's not able to. Oh. So
so people talk about my acting choice with Hazuki, and ask, like, why did I choose to do it that way, kind of thing. And you definitely touched on it there, where at the very beginning of the game, the very beginning, right? Everything changes. He gives up his life. He gives up his home. He gives up his martial arts. Well, he has no choice, but he gives that up. He gives up his relationship with Nozomi. He gives up his high school, right? He gives up everything, his life, his family, everything. Gives it all up to go on this quest. And and the way that I've described it before is that he lost his humanity that day. It's like he's lost a big piece of himself, and he's not him anymore. He's lost quite a bit of his humanity. And so when I kind of thought about what was going on as far as the character is concerned, yes, he's very focused. He's going to go on this quest to avenge his father, and he kind of, like you said, he's a little bit standoffish. He's a little bit maybe even cold to his friends and family and all that kind of stuff, because he's decided that is what he's going to do. So the point of Shenmue is that this young man who's only 18 has lost everything, and it's really not his quest for revenge, but really the quest to find his humanity again, right? To find who he is as a person again, to find, Ryo Hazuki, to find his spirit again. That's what Shenmue is to me. It's his quest to find his humanity.
That's amazing. I honestly never thought of it like that. I always thought, that's a lot deeper than mine. I always thought it was a good old-fashioned revenge story. But that makes a lot more sense, that he's trying to regain his life.
Yeah. Because if you look at the story, he just to reject all of these things, right? He doesn't want to upset anybody, of course. He doesn't want to make
Don't worry.
Son. He doesn't want to make him,
wanna
you
ask you
know,
about that
worry
man.
about him, especially Ine-san. He doesn't
that
want
man.
her to worry about him, but
The man
he's
called
trying to.
What did you
He's
talk with
trying
my
to
father
separate
about?
as much as possible.
indeed demanded
And
the
again,
mirror.
all of his
And
schoolmates,
then
and
they
of course,
threw me
we
out
all
of the
know about
dojo.
Nozomi. He's
The black
decided
suits,
to separate
catch the
himself
names?
from her. So
I
he's
don't know.
trying,
They
right?
came out of
But then
nowhere.
as he goes along this
I
quest,
see.
he meets more and more
Thanks,
people.
Lisa.
And those people teach him
If you remember
about
anything at all,
life.
be
Whether
sure to
it's
tell me.
a master
Listen.
in a kung fu temple,
What?
or if
What
it's
you
a
gonna do?
kitten who's also orphaned on the
Where are
same
you
day he was.
going?
Even if it's
You're
just
going after
a
them?
kitten and a little girl,
Please don't.
or
Look what they
you
did
know,
to
like a
Hazuki
kung fu master
Sensei.
in the park that teaches him how to
They killed my
teach
father
his patients and how to
right in
catch
front
the
of me.
leaves, right?
Oh,
Even those
We'll
people
have my
are
revenge.
teaching him how to become
I
human.
need to do this.
So he's
Oh, my
not only
father.
becoming stronger physically, but he's becoming stronger mentally. You know, so he's finding his humanity again because of all these people that he meets along the way, and he's slowly starting to realize that. You know, and then of course when we get into later stories, we start to come up with characters. Again, not to give them to anybody who may not have played, but yeah, you start to meet other people in the future, like Ren, for example, who's almost his complete opposite.
His
but he's become
inverse.
Like this.
Yep, it's his
Yeah, right.
definite inverse. You're so. It is literally his inverse.
They become like a weird, you know, love-hate brother relationship between the two of them, and it's like, yeah, he's my brother, but I hate him at the same time. But you know, but he's taught me so much about life, and so they grow off of each other. You know what I mean? And we get to see him again in the future, and for anybody who hasn't played spoilers.
Yeah.
You get to meet him again in the future, and there's a more, you know, I talked about this with Bill Black, who is the voice director for Shenmue 3, the English voice director. And I was like, yeah, you know, the way that these lines are and what's going on, I really feel this really brotherly, you know, relationship that he's having with Ren. So we kind of opened up a little bit as far as the dialogue is concerned, his emotional responses to Ren. You know, it's just like, oh my God, you know, I can't believe you think this way, and you know, he kind of like opens up more emotionally to some of the characters. Of course, we're talking a lot about Shenhua as well, where he starts to he's more curious about her and starts her life, and he starts to realize that, you know, life is important, and there are things that she's teaching him that he maybe forgot about and is discovering again.
You know, it's funny. I never thought about that kitten part till you just said it. That even a cat can get you some of your humanity back, and it just dawned on me when you were saying that they're the same. You said it. They literally became orphans on the same day. That never clicked on me that that everything he experiences is an attempt to retrieve his humanity. And that cat, like, yeah, that never dawned on me. So what was your?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say. So what was your first thought when you found out you were gonna be playing Ryo Hazuki? Like, what was your?
So it's easy.
Obviously, you knew who Yu Suzuki was, but what was like your thoughts on it?
Well, you know, it's funny. It was kind of a bit of a secret that they didn't really tell me what project I was doing. I found out about the project when I got there, really. So I had to live and work in Japan, and when I started working at the project, is basically my first day walking into Sega headquarters. So I really didn't know what project I was working
it's
on
close by there.
until I got there. So that was, you know, that was
You need to
that
be
was
careful around
kind of
cars too.
I was drinking all in, you know what I mean? I was in a new country. I had set up the place where I was supposed to live for the next 4 months, and am being surrounded by Japan, all of its glory, and then going into Sega headquarters and being all glamored by everything that was going on there, and then finding out the project that I was doing. Yeah, I kind of think it was all just hitting my brain all at the same time. So it was quite an information overload that I was experiencing at the time. But other than it was great. Being able to see the thing is that they allowed me to see quite a bit of the depth of the project. They showed me both characters, you know what I mean? They showed me even like characters that you would meet just here on the side. Every single character had a picture and a description next to them, their name, what they were, if they were a shopkeeper or a teacher or whatever, what their birthday was, what their blood type was, and that was for every single character that you see. They had all that information. Oh, and a little bit of about their personality as well. It's just like couple sentences about their personality. So every single person that you encounter in the game, they had books, pages and pages of all these different characters. And they showed me all of the research they did, all of the books, the locations, and all that kind of stuff. So they were really giving me quite a bit of a window into their thought process and their development into the game. And so yeah, the first time I ever had a chance to play Shenmue was they gave me a Dreamcast and they gave me this that was Shenmue in Japanese with English subtitles, and I got to play that.
Wow.
Playing the game, experiencing it, and voicing it at the same time. So I was basically playing it, and then a couple days later I might do that thing, you know what I mean? So I was I got a chance to produce the game as I was voicing it.
So when you went to Sega headquarters, so you walked in. When it was the first time you met Yu Suzuki? Like when did that actually happen?
How was your back?
Yeah, you know what? That actually happened a few days after we kind of started diving into it. Like I said, they gave me a chance to warm up. We did several hours of recording, maybe 4 hours a day for the first couple of days, kind of diving into it, our feet wet, I guess I should say. Yeah, a few days afterwards, if I remember correctly, I don't. It's been a while now, right?
It's been over 20 years now.
My memory is probably a little bit, but yeah, I remember that we're like, so we found out that Yu Suzuki is here today, would you like to meet him? And of course, my mind's like, and I just, very humbly and said, yes, please. Yeah, I would love.
You're like,
I'll come by again.
I keep the cap of my head on so they didn't see my brain exploding.
You're like, don't cry.
But yeah, he was, of course, seeing everything that I was doing, but we had an English familiar team, I guess I should say. Everybody on the team that I was working with, they were all they were familiar with English, and we did have an English translator there from the States that was working with us in the studio the whole time. But Yu Suzuki, basically what they would do is they would take all of that recording that they did and they kind of clean it up a little bit. Yu Suzuki would have the final say on their thing, but we kind of work a little bit separately. So I did get a chance to win that day, but the thing is that once we started recording, we really kind of like put our heads down and started recording, and we were recording hard basically all day, every day. Once a couple of weeks
Have you
went by,
found it?
and I didn't get a chance to meet him
Yamamoto's house?
after that, believe
No,
it or
not
not,
yet.
until
Would you
much
a bit
later.
longer, please?
So as far as
thought it
Shenmue
was
1 is concerned, I think
around
I seriously I got to meet him
trouble
once
you.
because we're so busy on the project, all doing things that I got to meet him that one day, and we were just hard at work recording. You know what I mean?
That's amazing. It's so. Oh my god. So you like, how does it feel? I told myself I was going to try to stay calm during this interview, so I think I'm doing a good job of containing my excitement. I'm actually kind of proud of myself. How did it feel to know? Did you know when you were making the game? Did you have like a feeling, like 10 minutes in, or like 2 weeks in, or a year in, that this was going to be something astronomical? Did you have like an inkling that this was going to change video games?
Well, no. The thing is, when I did the game myself, of course, when I was playing it, I was like, oh man, these are the things that I've always wanted. You know, Shenmue didn't really like invent a big wide open map, or they didn't invent the ability to go through. We talked about things
Yeah,
like
Yuki. Yo.
we talked about Resident Evil, you know, a little bit earlier, or maybe Grand Theft Auto or something like that, right? But we never really had everything come together like Shenmue. Right? Shenmue was unique in that sense. And when I played it, I was like, God, you know, these are the things that I've always really wanted in a game. Now, you can go up to anybody and have a conversation with them most of the time, right? About it doesn't have to be about like what's going on specifically. We can ask about like, oh hey, you know, there are certain things that you need, like, oh, I need somebody to translate this language, or hey, did you see something else that day? Like, you have 3 or 4 different options, and you can actually have conversations with people. And it's different at different times of day, and it's different at different times of year, or you know what I mean, or like you said, if the weather or something like that, or you know what I mean. I always thought like, wow, this is different. Like, this is what I've always wanted in a game. So I remember playing Shenmue and thinking that, like,
Sure.
man, this is,
Hey, is
you know,
everything okay?
these are the things I've always wanted, and I thought, why hasn't
On
this
that day,
come out
Did you
by
see
now?
any men
You know what I mean?
suits?
Yeah.
So when I was
Black
playing
suits.
Shenmue, that was definitely my thought. Like,
No, I
oh,
sure
this
didn't.
is what I've always wanted. I wanted to be able to
Any idea
go
how
through my
Mike knew
drawer,
about those
and
men in
if
black
there's nothing but
suits?
clothes in there, then who cares? Or
Maybe
or you
something
could go to the
about
arcade and
gossip
go, you know,
down
a
by
couple
those-
$100.
You know how I always yak
On
On,
darts.
uh,
I play darts.
Try asking them. Good idea.
Yeah.
That is one of my
So-
favorite lines that you have in that game. Is "This is the last dart." When you say that, I love. I almost dropped the F word. I love that. This is the last dart. The way you say that, oh my god, I love it. This was one. See, this was kind of crazy. So, when I played the original Shenmue, I played it. I had a Japanese copy, which I'm staring at right now, and I remember in the Japanese copy, we had Coke machines, and I was always wondering why they got rid of the Coke machines in the American version.
Yeah. It's always having to do with license, and there's always like all kinds of crazy lawyer stuff going on behind the scenes. You know what I mean? So it's like they have the ability to have the Coke logo in Japan, right, for distribution in Japan, right? But they don't have those rights. They didn't pay those rights to have it
Could you tell me about what happened
in
with that
the
car?
United States.
Sure.
So yeah, there's always little things like that you'll see that it's always just having to do with contracts and money and lawyers.
Went towards
So
the
that's all.
a black
I mean,
car. Did you
Have
see
you
the
ever
license
played the
plate
game Fighting Vipers before?
If there hadn't been any snow,
I have not
To make
actually
matters worse,
played
I
it, but yeah, I
fell
do know that.
so I had never
So
had the chance.
so Yu Suzuki, obviously, he worked on Fighting Vipers as well, and it was like kind of like his, I guess his heavy metal version of Virtua Fighter. It's, you know, it's not as elegant. There's got like skateboards, and they're beating you up with like pipes. And I always remember getting the Japanese version of that game and seeing Pepsi Man in it. And I was so upset because I had bought the American version first and found out exactly what you just said, that Pepsi Man was a Japanese icon. So when you
Yeah.
play the Japanese version of Fighting Vipers on Sega Saturn, if you lose like twice, you literally hear the theme song of Pepsi Man, and then he fights you, and then he becomes playable. And it was amazing that Fighting Vipers in Japan has Pepsi. There's a character named Picky who actually has a Pepsi skateboard. There's Pepsi trucks going by, and we didn't get that here. And it kind of makes sense, I guess, with different licensing agreements.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember, I mean, the thing is, I had a chance to play it a couple of times, so did I get a chance to really play it? No. I think a friend of mine had the game, and I don't think I ever played with Pepsi Man. Well, I mean, I guess I didn't because it was here in the States, so I guess I never would have. But that's interesting that you say that, because that's something that I wasn't able to know. But yeah, I'm sure that is the exact same thing. They end up having the ability to do that in another country, Japan specifically in this case, and then not in another. And it's all just about licensing.
Yeah, I'm sure that, like, you know, when you were doing voice acting, you were focusing on your career. Me, at my age, I was just playing video games. So, like, it's kind of crazy. Like, the little intricacies of a Japanese game versus an American game. And when you were in Japan, did you ever have Java tea before? Apparently it's a very, very popular drink.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So, fun fact for you. There's a game called Virtua Fighter Kids. And Virtua Fighter Kids, I don't know if you ever played it, your daughter would love it. It's basically, think of Funko Pops, but fighting. It's Virtua Fighter characters with these really, really big heads. And why they did that, it's hilarious. And they literally did it because they wanted to see if they can recreate actual pain on a character when they get hit. And they said that was kind of one of the games that laid the groundwork for Virtua Fighter 3, and then essentially laid the groundwork for games like Shenmue. So basically you're fighting in an arena. Let me let this guy pass. Sorry, sir. So I bring this up because in the Japanese version of it, there's a character called Shun-Di. He's in an American version also. He's a drunken master. And in Virtua Fighter 2, he has a gourd that he drinks out of, so because he's an alcoholic. But in Virtua Fighter Kids, in the Japanese version, he's got a Java tea can that he drinks out of. And I found that awesome, and I was always curious if that was a thing in Japan, if that was just a popular drink. I'm like, these guys are advertising Java tea pretty hard in this game. There's like signs for it. So yeah, it's just, I love... Corey, that's what makes me feel so immersed. And so we're going to do this part because I was obsessed with these growing up. I talked about these with you before, where I used to trade with the kids in Japan over Passport. And this to me was the first time,
100 yen each.
This to me was the first time where I got to see
Maybe just
a Model 2 game, even if I wasn't playable, like Model 2 graphics in a video game system. Because growing up playing Virtua Fighter on Sega Saturn, as amazing as the Saturn was, it just wasn't... It was never meant to do what everybody was hoping it could do. So, it didn't look like this. It had a base understanding of it, but it didn't look like this. You didn't see the tight details of Wolf. So, by the way, that's what Virtua Fighter Kids looks like. These big-headed, it's so funny. Like, I've spent
maybe I should get another.
way too much time just buying these over and over again. Let's hope maybe I'll get Doral. That'd be nice. Let's see if we get Doral. Come on. I got Wolf Hawkfield the first time, and I just got Jackie Bryant the second time, which I love. Look at that. Look at that hair. So, yeah, their hands are so big. So, what was your favorite part
Maybe
of
I should get another.
working on Shenmue?
Nah, not today.
The thing is that when I started playing Shenmue, I guess kind of answer your question a little bit further. The question is that, when I started playing Shenmue, I became a big fan myself, right? So to be a part of a game that I actually like, the game, is pretty awesome. You know, it's great to be the main character in something that I actually enjoy playing, I would buy anyway if I weren't a part of the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that in itself is just great. Being a how old was I? 20. How old was I? Being a 20-year-old in Japan, also living and working, doing what I love is probably the greatest gift that anybody could ever ask for. You know, I was making money doing video games. I think anybody who can do that in any form, even if it's doing a podcast like this, or if it's developing games, if you're a coder or something like that, or if you're a very creative guy and you want to do voiceovers or something like that, I think anybody who can
One game, 100 yen.
anybody who can make money doing what they love never really has to go to work, right?
No, that's true. It's you literally are living. You got to live the dream. You are living the dream, like and it's not like you were handed this. Like you did such a breathtaking job on Ryo Hazuki that it's like I mentioned it to you before we went live, that how whenever I play the game, I feel your pain in the character. Like, voice acting now is so different than when it had to be. Remember I told you on Facebook when Shenmue 3 came out, when I saw that trailer and I literally messaged you screaming when you squared up against Lon D and he goes, "I'll avenge my father." The way you said that, I was just like, oh my, like, you feel his pain. You're able to capture the loss that this kid experienced. And earlier in the conversation, you said something that was very poignant, where he's regaining his humanity with everything from a kitten to a martial art to a Tai Chi master who he helps, who's being threatened with eviction. And it kind of like made me think of maybe Ryu Hazuki is a student of the world now. Maybe everything that happened to him happened for him to face Londi. Maybe Londi is his destiny. Maybe his father was meant to die to battle that evil.
Yeah. Well, when you look at some of the old martial arts stories, you see characters go through these trials. It's not about them going wild and trying to get through the story off to the next thing. Really, the martial arts journey should be about improving yourself in all ways, with all things in life. So, for example, even if you're, let's just say, okay, this is a good one, because me and my daughter were watching the Karate Kid, right? So, when you have to stand the floor, right?
Yeah.
Even my daughter, I was talking to my daughter, like, do you know what him do? And she kind of looked at it, she goes, she's trying to make him strong. And I said, yeah, exactly. She got it before the reveal, because remember at the very end, Samuel, sometimes like, I'm not doing this anymore. He said, show me paint the fence, show me stand the floor. And then he actually did the martial arts move. So my daughter got that before that reveal. She realized that he was making him stand the floor and do these motions to make him stronger. Because she realized, oh yeah, he was talking about how his shoulders were so sore, his arms were so sore. And she realized that the things that he was making him do in life were his martial arts. And I was like, oh man, I'm so glad my daughter, she's only 10, and she understands that. So in martial arts, everything that you do in life should be your training aid. Like when you go to work, maybe you take your bike to work. Maybe you take the stairs as opposed to taking the elevator. Something like that. Because you should be always trained. If you're a serious martial artist, you should always be trained. So instead, he made him use the old style Japanese sandals so he could work on us, right? So not only we talk about physical training, but we're talking about mental training as well. When you are in business, you should be thinking about Sun Tzu, right? You should be thinking about using the art of war in martial arts training to get you through your day as far as a businessman and stuff, right? You should be thinking of yourself as Musashi, right?
Yep.
That you are when you engage in conversation with somebody who has an opposing view, you don't yell at each other because that accomplishes nothing. You have to use tactics to help each other understand, and that is also a part of martial arts, right? You have to think about all aspects in your life, whether it's physical or mental, should be a part of martial arts training. And even the games that you play should be, games that improve your life in some way. Of course, we also love great stories, games like Shenmue teaches life lessons and things like that. So maybe strategy games as well to sharpen your mind.
Next time. Anyway,
Everything
on
that you
that
do
day,
in life, if you're a
did
serious
anything
martial artist,
unusual
should
happen?
be improving your life in that direction. So
I see.
that's
Well, if you remember anything,
kind of like
let
how
me
I
know.
feel that Kazuki is on his martial arts journey. Because not only is he getting stronger physically with all these characters that he's meeting, but he's getting strong mentally with all of the support and
I'll
all
drop
of
by later.
the love he's getting from all the people that he's meeting along the way. But he's also learning life lessons from people like the Kung Fu masters who teach him how to focus, who teach him how to concentrate, who teach him how to who teach him a greater balance,
Hi.
who are teaching him patience. Even Shenhua, we're talking later on in the stories 2 and 3, she teaches him a lot about patience, and how he can improve himself
We closed early
through
that day.
all of the teachings
Wait a
that
minute.
he had learned from her father.
Now I
and things
remember.
like that.
A car
It's
did
not
drive
only his
through
physical
real
journey, but
fast.
his mental journey.
Really? Don't remember the
So,
car, but it drove off towards the
you and your
sea.
daughter, do you guys does your daughter practice martial arts?
She did practice martial arts. The studio that we went to, I decided that I wasn't back for that. She wants to start up martial arts again. She expressed interest in jiu-jitsu. There's actually a pretty interesting great jiu-jitsu studio that's not too far from us. But she is she studies ballet, and ballet is and I can translate a lot of those same lessons to ballet as well. Ballet, because I study ballet myself, and let me tell you something. For anybody who doesn't know, I have
Did
studied
you see a black car?
martial arts since I was a child. I've played American
I hear it
football.
came from
I've done stunts,
Sakuragaoka and drove through
and
Dobuita at full speed.
I've done a lot of
I had no idea.
I
physical
see.
things in my life. The hardest thing I've
Why
ever
don't
had to
you
do
try
in
asking
my
people
entire
on the
life,
shopping
and I'm not
street?
joking,
Maybe
is
someone saw
that
it
I
down
studied
there.
ballet and
Yeah.
modern dance when I was in college, and it's the hardest thing I've ever done. So, for anybody who thinks that ballet may not be, I don't know, manly or physically demanding, or you don't know. I'm going to say right now, you don't know.
It's fun.
So, again, the same thing that we talk about, that I just talked about in life, can be translated into ballet as well. So she's decided to take that back up real serious, and she's gone to a conservatory here where I live, just above Los Angeles. So the Santa Clarita Ballet Academy is where she's taking ballet, and they take ballet very seriously. They're grooming kids to go into things like the Royal Ballet of Great Britain, or the San Francisco Ballet, and we have several of their alumni are in major companies now. But yeah, she's decided to take it real serious. And
That's amazing.
Yo, may I help you?
That's amazing. Yeah, it's funny you brought up jiu-jitsu. So a little bit about me. I did Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for about 10 years before I got injured. I actually achieved my Faisha Hosha and then got really injured. I should have never fought to begin with. I have metal rods in my back, but I got hurt during the New York Open, and it caused stenosis, arthritis, and nerve damage in my back, which never healed because I refused to let it heal. But I just remember my instructor explaining exactly how you just kind of talked about that it's a way of life. That he would have me, he would just tell me everything I did in the studio and everything I did outside of life is jiu-jitsu. It's just how you interpret it. And it was probably one of the greatest honors of my life to be given. And I always keep it. It's one of the few things on the stream that never changes. If you look at my camera, you'll actually see my Faisha Hosha right there. That is my purple belt that was given to me by my instructor, and his instructor gave it to him, which was Carlos Holston, who trained under the Gracies in the 80s in Brazil. So this has always stuck with me, and that's why, like, when I play Shenmue, and I knew you had to be a martial artist. Without even knowing you personally, I knew you had to be a martial artist because when you hear yourself talking about martial arts in the game as Ryozuki, you feel like you're not acting. You know what it is. You know what it's like. And I think that's what really drew me to the character is it sounded that Ryozuki just happened to be you and they asked you to be yourself in a game. It's just like whenever you hear Samuel Jackson, it's not Samuel Jackson playing a Jedi. It's just Samuel Jackson who has a lightsaber.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that feeling.
One of the most dangerous things in the universe.
Yeah. So, I spent a lot of time in this tomato mart, Mr. Marshall, Corey. I spent a lot of time in here because I really want this damn boombox. I never get it. I'm like using my family's inheritance right now to buy potato chips. I find that when it's the stoner in here and not her, I win. When it's the dude.
Oh, really?
I always win when it's the dude here. See? Well, I got 5th place, so I think... What do I get here? I think I get... I get a random capsule. See, I would have loved to get Metal Sonic. Let me ask you, did you, I'm gonna ask this, and maybe you know, maybe you don't know. Is Ryozuki's hair based off of Sonic? Is that like a thing? Did they do that on purpose? Or is it just they're showing...
Come again, yo.
If it based off of Sonic, I don't think so.
Because it seems so Sonic-y.
Yeah, I know a lot of people have, compared him to other characters. Of course, we all know Virtual Fighter and stuff like that, and the other Sega characters you just mentioned, Sonic. But yeah, I don't think that it's exactly based off of him, but I think it's just kind of like it might be just that Sega look, you know what I mean, that they got going on. You can kind of tell there's a little bit of the Sega signature kind of put on there. You know what I mean?
It's just...
Especially since merchandise.
I've always thought that, and it's kind of crazy that... So this kind of like, I'm not going to say upset me, but it made me a little sad. So obviously, I wouldn't have kickstarted the game. So when Shenmue 3 came out, when they announced it in 2015, my Facebook blew up. People are like, oh my god, your game is coming back out, and... For anybody that doesn't know, and I'm not going to spoil it, because hopefully Corey will be back again with us. Mr. Marshall will spend time with us again. I'm gonna Frankenstein up an original Xbox, and we're gonna play Shenmue 2 on the original Xbox. We're not gonna do the remakes because you lost the Timex, you lost a lot of stuff in translation. So hopefully I can find a way to play the original on Xbox, and then if he decides to come back, we'll go through Shenmue 2 so we can discuss even more because he reprised his role in Shenmue 2. So, in Shenmue 2, it has one of the worst cliffhangers in history. In the span of any video game that has came out, Shenmue 2 is basically the 20-year stopgap, almost, of you never knowing what's going to happen. And then... it was kind of like the dawn of the ending of like a lot of video game magazines. So like they were talking that Yu Suzuki was moving to other projects, and it was when Sega started not doing well financially, and the Dreamcast was on its last leg, and the Americans were upset because we never got Shenmue 2 here, and they broke up AM2, and then we knew the end was nigh for the Shenmue series when they started talking about the fact that we weren't going to see it in America, because America is where they make their money for these consoles. So I remember finishing Shenmue 2, and I was broken a bit. And I'm sure you felt it too. Like, you're like, oh my god, like we're at 66% or 40% into a project. Oh, Steady as Shark, thank you so much for the follow, my dude. I hope you're loving the stream, and I hope you're loving meeting Mr. Corey Marshall, the voice of our generation, the voice of Ryozuki. So I remember finishing that game, Corey, and I was like, okay, when is the third one coming out? And I just, okay, 5 years later, when's the third one coming out? Sega no longer is, working on stuff and then 2015 rolls around, and I get a notification. And the notification, I gotta find it for you. My buddy Gareth, who knows how much Shenmue means to me, says Shenmue is getting kickstarted. And before I can ask the question, because you know what the question was, are you reprising the role? So before I can ask that question, he responded, and Corey Marshall will be reprising the role. I went and took a card that I shouldn't have used and kickstarted it for $350 that second. And I just remember going to the Kickstarter page and going through the bios and seeing your name and your picture, and they're like, and Corey Marshall is reprising the role as Ryo Hazuki. And they say as a man you get a couple cries in your life, when your kids are born, when you get married, I teared up, and I was like, this is happening. And then literally right before TwitchCon last year was when Unet surprised us with the first playable demo of the game of Shenmue 3. And this is the first time I've got to hear your voice again in almost 20 years. And I was crying on this stream playing as Ryozuki, because that is what you mean to thousands of people. And the fact that we didn't have pretty much anybody reprise their roles, but we had the star reprise his role, meant that you cared more about this game than pretty much anybody that had parts of it besides Yu Suzuki, obviously. Because if you look, Tom never reprised his role. The Guijon, the character that played Guijon, and I know this because I spent another $80 to buy the phone card, where you call up and talk to all your friends, and all of their voices are different. So, even with that, the fact that you're there, the game I could not have played it without you there. So, my question to you is, and I know I'm kind of going off on a tangent, because when they came to you and they said we're kickstarting it, what was your first thought? Like, how did this happen? Like, how did they say to you, okay, Corey, we're making this happen? Like, what happened? Tell us the story. I gotta hear it.
So, the Shenmue project was a very big secret, and I found out seriously the same time that everybody else did during that E3 announcement, when the music came out and all that kind of stuff, and everybody freaked out. The story for me goes is during that E3. I was home with my daughter. I don't remember. It may have been I was bringing her back from school or something like that, and I was like bringing stuff up to where we live, and I had a bunch of things in my hand, you know, my daughter's school bag or whatever, you know. And yeah, so, like, we're still in the car, and my phone starts pinging, right? Like ding, 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 ding. I'm like, oh, okay, something's going on. But I still got all this stuff, you know, and my phone's like vibrating, and it's starting to get warm, and there's like a hole burning in my pocket, and I'm like, oh man, what's going on? And walking up the stairs, and it's just going nuts, right? Like I'm like, all right, like you know, another national emergency has happened, like there's another 9/11 or something, or it's got to be Shenmue. It's got to be Shenmue really. And I thought, oh, I know E3 is going on right now. I wonder if it's Shenmue. You know what I mean? And I think my wife hears me coming home, you know, because we're walking up the stairs or whatever, we're shuffling things, and she actually, as I'm unlocking the door, she actually opens the door, and the key is still in the door or whatever, and she has her iPad in her hand, and she's kind of looking at me, and she goes, "Did you hear?" And I'm like, is it Shenmue? And she goes, yeah, it's Shenmue. So yeah, of course we turned on the stream for E3, and we watched the announcement, and we see everybody go nuts, and I was like, yes, I get to play the game again. I was like, oh, I get to figure out what I got Shenmue 2. I can't believe my question. I thought, oh, they're gonna call me, right? Like I get to work on the game, right? Like right?
They're gonna call me, right? I mean, I'm gonna get a call.
I don't know if you remember, but they had a little demo where there was Shenhua and there was Ryu, and they do a little thing where they hop across the stream or whatever.
Yep, on the rocks.
Yeah, on the rocks, right? That voice artist is not me.
It's not you.
It's not me. They found somebody who sounded similar to me, and they recorded him, of course, in secret, so they could do this announcement. And when I heard that, I was like, oh shit! They found somebody, probably in Japan, that sounds like me. And I kind of had a moment, you know, I was like, oh man, like I love this game. I really want to be a part of it. You know. So I kind of had my doubts for a little while, and there was a large response, as you kind of alluded to. There was a lot of people that were talking about it, and you know, I guess first of all I have to say, like, it's hard for me to think about that, because I know me as me. I'm just a guy, you know what I mean? I'm just some voice actor who happened to play this character in a game, you know. But for people to have that kind of response is really humbling, and I can't express how much I appreciate how much it means to people. But because there was such a large response, they ended up calling me for soon. It only took 2 days. I think it was only 2 days later. They called me up and said, "Hey, I know Ms. Marshall, you probably heard that we're doing part 3 of the game." And I was like, yeah.
I kind of heard.
And they said, we would love to have you back. What do you think? And of course, I told them, I will know, I'll get back to you, have my people play your people.
Yes!
No, immediately. We didn't talk about money or contracts or anything. I just said immediately, of course I'll do it. I would love.
That's amazing.
So, it kind of went down like that. So I think they just wanted this. I think they wanted this big reveal, this big secret, and that's kind of how it went down. So literally, I found out the same time that everybody else, and so it was fun for me too, because like I said, I was like, yes, we get to play again. I can't wait for it to come out. And then I had the moment of, oh man,
am I gonna play it?
I do it.
Oh man.
Oh, may I help you?
Like, I decided to play it, and then I decided to find out that I was coming back.
So how did it go down? So you obviously,
Please.
did you end up flying to Japan? Like I gotta hear this because a lot of people want to hear how again, this is almost. I mean, again, I've always said that I'm 40, but you were the voice of my childhood. Like, I was 18, 19 when I first played Shenmue, and besides, it's you and Paul Haddad. And remember, I had messaged you when we lost Paul Haddad, the voice of Leon S. Kennedy, who only was doing the voice of Leon a year before you started as Ryu Hazuki. Probably around the same. Probably you guys were in the studios at the same time when Resident Evil 2 was coming out, because Shenmue came out in 99, 2000. So it's always been you and Paul Haddad who have been the voice of my childhood, the defining characters in the video games, the not the anti-heroes, the heroes of the story, the ones that have to take all their tragedy and all the trials and tribulations and use it for purpose. So that's why I messaged you that very nice sentiment, because I could not imagine, we had lost Paul, and you're such an important part of thousands of people's lives, like not only in the US, but in the following in Europe for Shenmue 2 was enormous. Like, I remember having to buy my copy, and I'm staring at it right now, my European copy of Shenmue, because it was the only way to get at least American subtitles at the time. And even people that I was talking to, all the Shenmue people, were like, it just doesn't feel the same without you voicing it. Like, hearing a Japanese voice for Ryozuki, it felt hollow. And when we finally got it on Xbox, it kind of, we kind of felt disconnected because it came out 2 years after the fact. So when I heard the news about Shenmue 3, to be honest with you, I had $397 left on a credit card, and I gave it all to Unet. I was just like, take it all, and just make sure that I am part of this game. And the ironic part is, it was literally 5 years ago when I wasn't making a decent living as a streamer. I don't make a whole lot, but I work a good job. I'm blessed with a work from home situation because of my back. So now I could have probably invested $2,000, and what really depressed me was seeing what people in Shenmue 3, what the $2,000 tiers bought you. Your freaking picture was on a lucky hit. Like, your name was inscribed in a shrine in honor of Shenmue, and again, guys, I've been waiting 20 years to have this interview, so you're going to see me very excited. I am going to let Mr. Corey Marshall talk. So my question to you is, when everything started, when the ball started rolling, what happened with you and the wife? Did you fly to Japan? Was it a band gets back together type situation? Was Yu Suzuki more hands on deck? Like, what happened? Tell us the events that transpired with Shenmue 3, please.
It's interesting because you were talking about the other voice actors who didn't get a chance to come back, and this is actually a reason why, because Los Angeles. So we recorded in the studio down in Burbank, here in Los Angeles, and the reason you don't get a chance to hear these other voiceover actors, including great actors like Eric Kelso, or Paul, or some of the other characters that we know and love, Paul Luke, and some of the other characters that we know, is because they are in Japan. So unfortunately, we could not record him here in Los Angeles because basically it's all done here in studio, and that's the reason why. So how it happened was is that it was pretty typical this time round, where there was a little bit of a contract talk and some signing a contract, and then they said, hey, this is going to be recorded down in Burbank, and that's it. So I ended up showing up that day, signing the paperwork and meeting the new kind of like English voice cast. And I mentioned before that Bill Black has done hundreds of games. If you look him up, he's been in the business forever. You know, he do music, but he decided to do voice-over directing for quite a while. Like I said, he's just done tons of work. So, that being said, we got a lot of really great talent who has lent their voices to amazing projects. But some of our legacy characters, like Tom, the hot dog guy, you know,
I loved
Bill
him.
Butts. Yeah, Bill Butts, who's a really cool guy. We're actually friends. He is the Tank himself. So if you look him up on Instagram, he's got more muscles in his right pec than I do my entire body.
I love him. Besides you, I adore Tom. I love his character.
Yeah. And he's just all around great guy. But we all know that Lisa Wilkerson got a chance to come back, and that's because she's not in Japan. She is currently living here in Los Angeles, and that is why she had the opportunity to come back and reprise her role as Joy.
Oh.
So that's why we did getting her. But as far as Paul Lucas, like he played Lan Di and Chai and a few other characters. The reason he didn't come back because he's currently in Singapore.
Okay.
He's doing voice work in Singapore, and he's also teaching over there. Eric Kelso, who I mentioned before, who did Fukusan, he did Guizan, he did Ren, he did a bunch of other characters, probably 10 other different characters. He didn't get a chance to come back because he still lives and works in Japan, and he is a big voiceover artist over there and makes tons of projects, and is really busy over there. So it's like, you know, when we did Shenmue 3, I don't think it's a secret that we were on quite a bit of a tight budget.
Yes. Yes.
We were tight on time, tight on budget, and it's like, well, we either get them in a recording studio over there, which is going to be expensive, or we fly them over to Los Angeles and set them up, which is going to be even more expensive. So we said,
Don't worry.
you know, it was kind of Yu Suzuki's decision, and he said, you know what, I think we're just going to have to do all local talent
Yes.
there in
I
Los
understand.
Angeles. And since Corey Marshall was there, you know, I got a chance to
I'll
do
do
it
this
again,
tomorrow.
and it was just like, hey, we've got tons of voice actors here who do professional Japanese animation and video game all day. I mean, you could throw a stone outside and probably hit a voice actor. You know what I mean? So, like, actors are everywhere in Los Angeles, so they decided to just make it as economical as possible and do it here in Los Angeles. And all of the voice acting decision came down between Bill Black and Yu Suzuki. Yu Suzuki did get a chance to fly over from Japan. He came over with a really light crew. He came with one of his lead developers, I think. And he came in with a translator. Man, don't quote me on any of that. But he was here only for about 3 days. He got a chance to meet with me and Brianna Knickerbocker, who ended up playing Shenhua, and all these main legacy characters. We all kind of scheduled it around that time. So we could all come in, meet with Yu Suzuki, we could talk about Shenmue, Furio and our characters and all that kind of stuff, and that's what we did. You know, it was kind of like it was a great opportunity to spend some time with him for the 3 days he came in, but we did some kind of like big movie scenes that involve me, I should say, and Shenmue, and some other sort of large movies while Yu Suzuki was here. We kind of talked about, you know, getting back into it again, and he, you know, one of the best things he ever said to me was, you know, after all of this time, you still sound like Ryo.
You do. Like, I don't mean to cut you off because, like, I'm literally, like, I'm like, I just missed a QTE. That's how much I'm enamored by, like, I just missed a QuickTime event. And this little girl got kicked in the face by a soccer ball because of me just now. So, I didn't mean, it's just, we all have, like, there are moments in our life where you feel happiest. And this, you know, they're fleeting because, like, with life is a series of moments that fleet. Like, they're there and then they're gone. And I'm talking to Ryo Hazuki, and you sound like you did. But, like, so that makes it even more poignant of your brilliance of a voice actor, that it's just you playing this character while playing yourself. You, like...
I'm lucky that I have a lot of, you know, other physical injuries, but I never got punched in the throat, you know? I didn't smoke 20 packs of cigarettes a day, and I'm very healthy, so I guess I was able to keep my voice, but, you know, it's kind of like, obviously I speak a little differently than Hazuki speaks, but it's kind of, you know, I've been in the studio so long talking like him, it's like a bicycle, you know? I see his character, I put on the earphones, and I start speaking in that mic, and it's because I've done it for so long, so many days, for so many months, you know what I mean? It's just like...
It's you! It's you!
I had a chance to jump right into it again.
And it's...
He said, when he looked at me, he said, yeah, every time I hear you, I see Hazuki. And he said, I'm so happy that after all this time, that's still the case.
Good. And if you think about it, that's probably the best compliment that you could get. And I always... So, like, when it comes to voice acting, like, there's Corey Marshall, we had Paul Haddad, we have Steve Downs, we have Jen Taylor. For anybody that doesn't know Paul Haddad is Leon S. Kennedy. Obviously, Mr. Corey Marshall is Ryo Hazuki. You have Steve Downs, who's Master Chief, and you have Jen Taylor, who plays Cortana. These are, like, when you think of characters in video games, you think of these eternal characters. And I had an opportunity to meet Steve Downs a few times because he's obsessed with one of my corgis. So every time I see him, he's like, how's the corgi doing? And he's got that raspy voice, and it's funny the way you said it, because one time I was outside at a show, and he's smoking a cigarette, and I look at him, and he goes, I know, but if I didn't smoke these cigarettes, you wouldn't have a Master Chief. Because it was me smoking cigarettes for 25 years that made me sound... I was just like, the man's got a point. Keep smoking, sir.
Right? It depends on what character you're doing, right? Like, I don't know if anybody knows the artist Tom Waits, but you wouldn't get that Tom Waits sound without that sound as if he's gargling glass.
Yes!
You know what I mean?
But what's crazy is that I understand, like, when you put on your headphones and you're becoming, when in your process of an actor, you're becoming Ryo Hazuki, but it's just us conversing right now in the hour and 14 minutes of the greatest hour and 14 minutes of my life. It's nothing has changed, and this is a 20-year difference, and nothing has changed. You sound like you did, and so people that are watching, we're playing as the gentleman that is talking to us about one of the most profound video games in history. And what's crazy about Shenmue is Shenmue wasn't a critically received game. It was so ahead of its time that people didn't know what to make of it. Yu Suzuki took a genre called Free, which is Full of Reactive Eyes Entertainment, and spent $20 million of Sega's money when Sega wasn't doing well financially to hire voice actors like Corey Marshall, to hire cartographers, to study weather patterns, to study maps. The events and the times in this game are the identical times and weather patterns from that exact date and time. It's stuff like that, and before people have been coming in and out all day since the stream started. I've been, me and him have just, it could have been one person in here just getting to talk with Mr. Marshall about Shenmue. But what's crazy about Shenmue as a whole, and it's something that Corey said earlier at the beginning of the stream, is most of the games we wouldn't have without Shenmue. Shenmue laid a foundation of so many things, from QuickTime events to story plots that have to do with if you make this wrong decision, like the fact that I was staring at Corey when the girl got kicked in the face by a ball just now. I can't take that back. Like, that is in the ether now. Like, the drive of a dodge button, the fact that it's the veins in Ryu's hand, the fact that you're immersed into an actual city that you can literally go to and see. In the year 1999, this miraculous game came out, which wasn't critically received, unless you understood Yu Suzuki's brilliance, a man that created everything from Outrun to Afterburner to Space Harrier to Virtua Fighter to Virtua Racing, and then had basically a project on his heart that he wanted to do, which that's what this game became. Like, it's baffling that we got to see this, and it's so amazing that I get to talk with the man that made this game what it is. Because when you talk about a game, if the actors aren't at par, and this can be the same with movies, this can be the same with music, it's the characters and what drive content in a video game. It's the storylines. We can all doll up and say, oh, it has to do with a lot of graphics. It really doesn't. I play Shenmue in stick figures, as long as people are voicing the characters, because that's what makes the game. The game is the connection with the characters. And in my lifetime, I get to see more Shenmue. So I'm going to ask a question now, because I want to ask as many as I can, because I just love, honestly, hearing you talk, because I get to basically talk with you as, So, obviously, I don't know if you can tell us. I'm not putting you on the spot. Do you think in your heart of hearts that we might get a fourth Shenmue? What are your thought process?
Yeah. Let me grab a water real quick, and I will answer that question.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
And I just want to thank everybody that's in here right now. Again, I know I've been advertising this very heavily. I really wanted people to come in here and get to experience Corey Marshall and get to ask questions. So please, I know it's a one-way conversation right now, but if you guys have questions about anything, the chat is right here. We can answer. You can send me questions, and Corey's also watching the stream as well. I spent about an hour getting everything set up the way it needed to be set up. I know that the voice on his end can be a little iffy. That has to do with hotspot issues. As long as everybody can hear him to the best of their abilities. I have my admins in here right now that are able to answer, that are able to check and see if anything was going on. But please, I would love to have him back again. So ask any questions you want. Again, I've been advertising this very heavily for the fact that this is not, he doesn't do this that often. In the years that I've known him, I've probably seen him do this 2 or 3 times. So this is a big honor for him to take time out of his schedule, and he can lie and say that he's not doing much right now. He's still taking care of his family. We're dealing with tremendous events right now. California, like what everybody else, we've got a whole country of 300 million Americans that are suffering right now. Lives are being turned over. And for him to take the time out so we can talk with him and give us a little bit of, serenity is such a great thing. So, question I just got for you from Steadley Shark. He's a brand new follower. He's awesome. He probably found us through one of the 1 million posts I've been doing all week about you. How long did you live in Japan, and do you miss it?
Oh, do I miss Japan? Is the Pope Catholic? Yeah, I miss Japan, definitely. Let's see. The first time I was there, Shenmue 1, I lived there for about 4 months. And second time I was there, I lived there for about 3 months. So for Shenmue 2, they gave me a chance to live like a Japanese. You know what I mean? It's like in fact, even for Shenmue 2, they gave me a business apartment not too far from the from Shenmue headquarters. They even gave me a bike that I could bike work every day. That was fantastic. And I literally, got a chance to live as if I were Japanese, like as if I were a citizen, because I was working during the week. I had the weekends off, and I got to, go and do whatever I wanted. And even the first time I was there, I think it took a little longer because there's something called Golden Week, where basically the entire country takes off, and they all go traveling to destinations and stuff. And I ended up going over to the mountains up in Nikko, and ended up going over to Kyoto as well. And visited Kyoto, and it's just what I like about Japan is that they're similar thinking to me. Where I kind of feel like people should live in cities, and the cities should be efficient and clean, and transportation should be amazing, and then nature should be nature, and people should go visit. Kind of have the opposite philosophy here in the States. We kind of feel like we need to spread out as much as possible. In Los Angeles, it's like, a sea of building. Lights, you know what I mean? It's far. I mean, like the Earth starts to curve. You see the end of the lights. Of course, I'm being dramatic, but you get what I'm saying. Like, something that I really enjoy about Japan is they have a lot of respect for their culture and their nature, and they also have a lot of respect for where they live as cities and stuff like that. I could go on all day about it, but especially with my martial arts background, I have an ingrained sense of respect for elders, or respect for I guess hierarchy or authority. Like, I'm familiar with that, so I know how things I guess work. So I'm very comfortable there, and I can fit in very, very easily. Other than the fact that I'm a foot taller than everybody else, and I'm a giant figure and all that kind of stuff. I will always get the gaijin. And the funny thing is that Eric Kelso's the same way. He's kind of a he's a little bit tall, and he's definitely stands out. And he's like, it doesn't matter. He's like, you could speak perfect Japanese and try to converse philosophy with somebody in Japanese, but they'll always
right back in English.
Yeah, they'll try to always speak real slow and real, really easy, Japanese. And he's like, no, it's okay, I understand Japanese, and they'll still be like, It's like, no, I've been living here. I've been living here for 30 years. So, but anyway, yeah, I love Japan. There's you know, all places have their flaws, and Japan is no exception. They're definitely weird and strange, and they have their faults as a people and a culture, but we all do.
Yep.
But other than that, it's an amazing, fantastic place, and I recommend if anybody wants to go visit that they should. It's a very it's eye-opening and fantastic. It's just wonderful.
Ryo.
Oh, and Zyber, I probably said that name wrong. He said hi to you just now. He said, "Hey Corey, what's going on?" So Zyber, he just jumped into the channel. I don't know if you know. I'm sure you know a lot of people. Yeah, he jumped in and said hi. So we're talking to Wifey right now.
A black
Our
car.
Nozomi. Oh, Corey, did you see that somebody was able to hack the original Shenmue and found a plot line where you and Nozomi are fighting with other people? Like she's like a martial art master. Did you see this article?
Yeah,
Did you see who was in the
yeah,
car?
I know people who are able to dive into
But I
the
heard a rumor
into the code, I should say, and yeah, they're able to dive around and find all kinds of really interesting things. So, who's interested,
See you later.
there are a lot of hidden, interesting,
See you.
I don't know, plots and stuff like that we never had a chance to see, or that most people don't see, or that some of the hidden events are extremely hard to get to. But yeah, there is all kinds of stuff out there, so I encourage people to go find that. And yeah, I did know that, and that is amazing.
So-
and I would like to see that. I would love to see Nozomi just eventually she'll come in and Shenmue survive and just start tearing up for whatever reason. I'd love to see that. Oh, but I wanted to answer your question.
Yes, I was like, I want to hear if he knows some stuff. Does he got some inside information? While you answer that, I'm going to treat myself to a Cadbury cream egg because today is just a wonderful day.
Oh, please do. So, I could tell you that I don't know any insider information. That sometimes I know more than other people, but I can honestly say that I don't know about 4. But let me tell you something. I have a high confidence that 4 will happen because of a few things. We were able to kickstart 3, and we learned some valuable lessons from that, right? So we learned that some places it didn't sell as well, and some places sold better than we thought. So not only do we have a very successful Kickstarter campaign, in fact, we had a great Kickstarter campaign. So that proves, of course, that the fans understood it. And 2, some places sold better than we thought. Like I just mentioned. So, for example, in Japan, it didn't sell as well. Japan didn't always have this market, but I think they were a little surprised that it didn't sell very well.
Nozomi
Right?
told me you had
So
words with
that's
the
a
guys
little
driving the black
right?
car.
Okay, well maybe
No,
you
no,
know,
I
Japan
don't remember.
may not be the
They
market
might
not
have
going
been
to
the ones
like
who murdered
really
my
put
father.
it there, or I mean, who knows? Maybe may not even have another Japanese
Right, man.
translation.
I'll try.
Which do they show? But for example, it's still better than we thought in places like the UK, because like fans would tweet at me or give me messages or whatever and say, "Hey, we can't get Shenmue here. Like, I've gone everywhere, all of the stores are sold, and we can't even get it on Amazon. It's sold out on Amazon in the UK." So I was like, "Oh wow, that's interesting." And he said, "Yes, it's
Those guys in the black
been
car.
going for years." So
What were they like?
that's another lesson.
I
Right?
saw
Okay,
a
like,
guy
well, maybe
wearing
some
this
places like the
weird
UK,
coat.
there might be a little bit
Coat.
more
It
sushi.
was a deep green.
So we
maybe
had
velvet
pretty
or
decent
silk.
sales in some places,
Chinese.
and
That's
we
Lenzi.
had several companies come in and be involved in the project as well. Right? We all know D Silver and all the other people who came in. So we got more, corporate backing and probably some money involved in that as well. So not only do we have their money, but we have Kickstarter and we have pretty good sales in multiple places. So that gives me the, as I mentioned, the high hope or the high confidence, I should say, that we will at least get 4. Now, as far as 5 or 6 or 10 is concerned, I couldn't tell you, but I can tell you that. Sorry, I can tell you that we will most likely, and just my opinion, get 4.
Can I PayPal you right now?
Set you up for a,
You take PayPal? Cash App? So I had mentioned this before, and like when Corey and I, we did a dry test earlier. We talked for about 30 minutes before we actually started the stream. We wanted, get to know each other a little bit more. We've been friends for a little bit on Facebook, but we've never really like talked like this. And I've been kind of not hounding him about. I've been hounding him about this. That I wanted to have like this meetup and actually get to speak with him on this exact type of platform. And what I really wanted to know about Shenmue 3, when it started being worked on and you started seeing all the money pour in from the Kickstarter, like, how did you feel about that?
Well, I've said this in the past, and it's more true with Shenmue 3 than ever. But, people, the only way I can say that is that I don't have a job without you guys. You know what I mean? And like I said, with Shenmue 3, that's more true than ever, right? So, if fans aren't out there buying games, I don't work, So, people say, oh, thanks for being Hazuki, thanks for making these games, thanks for, and you talk about it too, you talk about your childhood and stuff, but I seriously have to thank people like you and all the fans out there, because if it's not for you, then I'm just like some crazy guy talking to myself. You know what I mean?
Playing in an arcade, talking about darts.
Because you guys enjoy the content I'm trying to make. Like, look, I try to make good things. I obviously want to make things that people can enjoy. That's definitely one of my goals in life. I want to make cool content that people want to play. But I have to seriously thank all of the fans out there for everything they do and everything they do for my family, and making sure that I continue to work in the future. So, hey, dude, seriously, thank you for having me on today, and thank all that are out there chatting and questions and all that stuff. Seriously, you guys mean everything to me. I don't get to do what I do without you guys. So, thank you.
So close.
So I was just asked, what is a Zinners? Zybar said I should ask you about that. What are Zinners?
Oh yeah, so Zoom. A lot of us are now using Zoom to. In fact, we're doing it now. We are people using it just to hang out with their family and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's like it's like Skype or anything else. And what I'm doing, I'm doing it, off and on. I've done it 3 weekends now.
Oh, good.
Where I'll pick a day, Saturday or Sunday, and I will do a Zoom dinner. So that's a Zinner, and I get to just hang out with Shin.
Yeah,
That is amazing.
We'll come on like some hardcore Shenmue fans that know more about the game than I do. and we've had new people come and be like, hey, I just discovered Shenmue and I just wanted to say hi and all that kind of stuff. So I'm literally just hanging out with fans and talking to them and doing whatever,
I would definitely want to be part of that. I would like to thank Zyber for letting me know that those actually exist. I had no idea. So all of this came about because I had messaged Corey about, again, we had just lost Paul Haddad, and I had said that if anything were ever to happen to him, you'd be remembered we would literally light up the heavens in your remembrance. And I kind of like hinted at him at this point. I was like, I still want to do, a Twitch, stream with you. And then he said the best thing that you can hear when you're a fan of somebody, he's like, well, I'm not doing anything right now. I'm not doing anything this week. So why don't we, at this point, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, he's joking. Maybe he doesn't know who I am. Maybe maybe he mistook me for somebody. And then I asked it again and I go, Thursday, ? Exclamation point, happy face. So I usually I don't get speechless about things. Like, I don't think I've ever scored less than 200 on this dart game, and I am currently at 35 right now because I am so, like, I can't even, like, people are getting hit in the face by soccer balls. I'm asking the wrong questions. I almost just interrupted a guy eating his hamburger at the hamburger shop. Nozomi wants nothing to do with me now. I mean,
play more?
No, I can't play anymore. Like, I'm just wasting my inheritance right now. So, I'm wasting the inheritance that I got. So, you said Yu Suzuki was only in America for like 3 days. So you never went to Japan for Shenmue 3. All of it?
Yeah, not for 3 because like I said, we were just talking about time and budget, and that was the best thing to do. We have lots of really great voice actors, and LA's place so that we can get things done fast and inexpensive. So that's how it was. And I got when they announced Shenmue 3, I was definitely thinking, ooh, do I get to go back to Japan? Do I get to live there again? And I thought, could I bring my family? That'd be awesome. If my daughter or my wife could spend a few months with me in Japan, that'd be amazing. But not this time. But we'll. The thing is that I'm going to say things went pretty smoothly this time. So if we have a Shenmue 4 and beyond, it will probably be, of course, the English will be voiced here in Los Angeles, I'm assuming. So yeah, if anybody wants to move to Los Angeles and become part of Shenmue 3 or 4, I should say.
Holy shit, I'm going to be Guijong. I'm going to be right next to you battling. That was probably one of my... Guijong spot, like when Master Chen charges Guijong with basically becoming like your bodyguard.
Right.
And he like randomly attacks you like a freaking ninja, like a cat on stairs, like jumping out at you. That to me... So, like, when Shenmue 1 came out, and obviously I played it in, like, it was all I did, like, just playing Shenmue, like, over and over and over again. And I remember hoping against hope that at the end of Shenmue 1, when you're getting onto the boat, you got your fancy green backpack, which I've always wanted one of those, they're so awesome. I always thought that Guijong was going to join you in Hong Kong, and then Chai comes in and then hurts his leg, and I'm thinking he's going to show up. Why do you think that Guijong wasn't written in to go with you to Hong Kong? That's like kind of like my question. I've got millions of questions, and they're basically, my synapses are firing right now like a spider monkey on pixie sticks.
Right.
So why do you think why do you think Guijong wasn't brought in with you?
Well, I think we start to see these the opposite sides or the many characters to Hazuki, right? And we see all these other characters, right? So if Guizhang or Guijong followed him, right, then we wouldn't get prominent character as Ren, for example, because we meet Ren in Hong Kong, and he sort of kind of takes that place of Guizhang, right? Like he kind of take that I mean, not sidekick, but more like companion character, right? Is his opposite, his friend, his yin to
his inverse, like his yeah.
So I kind of feel like. As I was mentioning earlier, how he's kind of meeting all these different people and they're teaching him different things about himself and about life. I think that's probably why. You know what I mean? And will we get to see him in the future? I don't know. I think that would be amazing. I would love to see him come back for Shenmue 4 or something like that, to be like, hey, you know, I had a not a full break, but I don't know, a fracture in my leg or something. He gets to come back, and maybe we'll see Ren and him, and maybe some other people that he met along the way. Kind of have to fight off another army of people or something like that.
Can you imagine?
It's kind of like. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I'm just literally that's all I wanted to say. Can you imagine like that? Oh my god. 150 person battle. You, Ren, and Guizhong. 50 apiece.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So yeah, it's kind of like, right, and both those characters too are polar opposite between, and it's funny because they're both played by Eric Kelso, so that's kind of funny, right? Both played by the same guy in Shenmue 1 and Shenmue 2. But so yeah, they're almost polar opposites too. One of them's very straight laced, wears a suit, very disciplined, right? And then there's Ren, who is right, like the gangster, the hothead, the one who wants to like kick ass all the time. So that would be cool. It's almost like on one shoulder you'll have the angel and the devil on their different shoulders. So it'd be like, you know, the Zen master versus the chaos bringer. And so that would be interesting, because you'd have Hazuki right in the middle and these two opposite characters on either side. That would be great. Let's see, Shenmue 4, let's make it happen.
Oh my god, can you imagine? So my next question, again, I've literally been thinking about questions all week. Actually, forget all week, like 20 years now, there's been like questions. So when it came to any of the, like the jacket, for instance, did that actual jacket exist, the Ryu Hazuki jacket? Was it an actual jacket that was in the game? Did somebody wear it for mocap? Or was it basically just computerized?
No. As far as I know, and I wasn't a part of that mocap. But as far as I know, that was not a real jacket. That was actually put on over the top. It's actually design. The mocap was different, if I remember properly, and they did it, you know, similar to what we do it today, and the jacket was just layered on top.
Got you. Okay. So was there anything that you got to keep from the original Shenmue, like scripts? Was there anything that you got to actually keep from the original Shenmue, like keepsakes is what I'm trying. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, you have some concept art that unfortunately I'm not allowed to share because there's, you know, that stuff is a little bit more secretive as well. They let me have some of that, and they did give me one of the Shenmue watches. Those Shenmue watches that everybody.
You have the freaking Timex watch. I'm not jealous.
I do, yeah.
No, I'm not jealous.
I have one.
I'm not jealous. Not at all. I mean, it's fitting though. Ryu Hazuki should have his watch.
Yeah, but it has the
Usenet. Yes.
On it. And it's got the timepiece on it. It's got Shenmue on the other side. Yeah, it's really cool. Good. I love it.
So my next question, when it came down to the Kickstarter, was there anything on the Kickstarter that you just thought was amazing, like stuff that they gave out to people that invested a lot? Like, was there anything that you just thought that, wow, I can't believe that they were doing this for like that person? Like, I know there was one.
I'm getting it.
Yeah, there was one. What?
No, that's it. I had to stop myself because I really wanted to get that answer.
Yeah, you know, I kind of like the fact that people got a chance to be in the game, right? So people got a chance to be a part of Shenmue history. I thought that was cool. I thought that was a lot of people really want to be a part of it somehow. I mean, a lot of people would love see themselves in a game or whatever, but Shenmue actually gave them that opportunity to be a part of that history, right? And that's another big, like, huge thank you to all the fans who got a chance to make Shenmue 3 happen. So we had a couple of faces appear, and we had people on credits, and some of their names pop up, and some of them were on the lucky hit, and those kinds of things. That was really awesome, touch. I thought that was a great idea, and I know that a lot of people really appreciate it to get a chance to somehow immortalize and make that's so important. I thought that was a great.
Here you go.
Okay, so we just got a question. Okay, so let me see what Sobes just asked.
Thanks.
It'd be cool to have both of their opinions on what to do in a situation. Okay. So question: what was the deal with the Bob Pizza character? The guy who owns the restaurant is Mario, and somehow his Japanese voice actor is even more stereotypical than the English voice actor.
Oh, that his accent was more stereotypical.
I guess that's the question. Yes.
Well, my opinion on well, we had famously for Shenmue 1 and 2, I think a lot of people probably understand that we only had so many English-speaking voice actors in Japan. So, for example, if you get somebody like Eric Kesselman, and you're like, hey, Eric, give us, your voices, and he starts to rattle off some of his characters, and you're like, okay, you got some more? We got, all these characters. We got literally hundreds of characters. And then, once he starts getting down to 10 characters or something like that, it's kind of like, okay, we're kind of stretching it because that one sounds a little bit like Ren. Okay, that one sounds a little bit like Rizana. You know what I mean? So a voice actor's going to pull from their repertoire. You know what I mean? I mean, some guys are great. Some guys literally have 100 characters that they can give you. But even if you're doing that, let's just say it's like, if you're Seth MacFarlane and you've got 100 different characters, but they're really like like cartoony characters on purpose, right? Like Stewie and you have Quagmire, and then you have, it's like they're all like really distinct and funny and all that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? But if you're trying to do something realistic, you only have so many voices that you can pull out of your bag, you know what I mean? So they started inviting all these characters in, and they're literally doing probably 10 characters a piece, or maybe even more, I don't know. They kind of started pulling people who, maybe weren't full-time voice actors, who maybe were doing this, maybe they were just starting, or maybe they lived and worked in Japan and they've always wanted to do voice acting, or something like that, you know what I mean? So they got some people like Tom, for example, and they're like, hey, could you do a Jamaican accent? And they listen to it and they're like, oh, okay, that sounds good enough, and then same thing with the Italian guy. They're like, hey, could you do an Italian accent? And then he pulled out this really stereotypical, Italian accent that's kind of, over the top. And they said, well, okay. You know what I mean? So they kind of had to do that sometimes. And I think that's no secret. I think in Shenmue 1 and 2, that's part of its charm, though. You know what I mean? Like, people love it because it is a little quirky. You know what I mean? Like, it is a little bit funny sometimes. You know what I mean? It kind of like it's that part of the endearing part of Shenmue 1 and 2. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I think that's how it came about. We had a lot of our stronger voice actors doing stuff like main characters. Like Paul Lucas did Chai, and he did Lan Di, and I'm trying to remember the other characters. He did 3 or 4 other characters, and then I think he did the same thing. It's like, once you start pulling out 10 characters, you start doing Street Vendor. You start doing, one of the kids, and then you have to do one of the, and then you have to do the Santa Claus character.
I love that Santa Claus character.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty much how it came about. It's like we had a lot of really great professional voice actors in Shenmue, and some of them that are not professional actors, and they kind of came from everywhere. One guy was looking over here, and then one guy came from the naval or from the naval base, or one guy. In fact, I think the guy who played Tom, if I'm not mistaken, was one of the guys from the naval base. He was like, "Oh yeah, I did tonight when I was a kid," or something like that. You know what I mean? So it's like he came in and did his best.
So we just got another question from Zyber.
Because we had literally hundreds of characters in Shenmue, we were just a little bit limited what we had. You know what I mean?
So Zyber just asked a question, and actually it's it's a very good question. Were you asked to do any other voice actors? Were you asked to voice any other characters, or were you brought in specifically to only voice Ryo?
Yeah. Yeah. And on that point, I actually said that. I was like, oh, actually, I could do more characters. I have different voices I could do. Do you want me to do any characters while I'm here? And they said, you know what? No, we appreciate that, but we want you to concentrate on being Ryo. We would like you to just be him all day, every day, so you're in that mind that you are him. You can live that character every day you come in. We don't want you to think about anything else, basically, is what they were saying. So I thought, okay, that's interesting. So I could have, and I wanted to do it, but they said, no, we appreciate that, but we would like to do just Hazuki. So that's how it went.
So, okay, yeah, so Zyber just said pretty cool. Okay, so my next question, wait, hold on. Okay, Steadiest Shark just says, Corey is a champ. I appreciate how much time he's giving us. Yeah, you're amazing right now. Actually, that's a good question. How much longer do I have with you? We've been going for about 2 hours, and to be honest, I would turn this into a 24-hour stream. We would both have, longer beards, we'd be emaciated. How much longer do we actually have with you, is my question.
Yeah, well, I don't know. A couple hours is pretty good, but if we get some good questions, if people want to ask some great questions, we'll knock those out, and we'll call it quits after that.
All right, so my next question. So, what is it like? Was there a change between Yu Suzuki when he worked for Sega to when you worked with him again through Usenet, or did he still have that same disposition to him? How did it?
No, he especially when it comes to Shenmue, it is his passion project. He's so passionate. I think that is the word. That is the word to describe his attitude towards Shenmue. It's like another child of his, you know what I mean? So when I talk to him about Shenmue and about all of that, about the characters, about what's going on, story, all that kind of stuff, he is so dedicated, and it means so much to him. I felt that the first time that I met him briefly, and then of course when I got the chance to speak to him more, in the future, the time that he spent here, I spent some time with him over at E3, and I spent some time with him afterwards. His demeanor, as far as Shenmue is concerned, did not change, because it means everything to him. It's his magnum opus, right? It's his baby. So that is the thing that I got most from him, as far as who he was, or his attitude and all that kind of stuff, was really his demeanor toward Shenmue and how much it means to him. And I think probably people can understand that with the depth of detail that they went into, all of the mapping, all the details I mentioned before, all of the reference figures that they took and all that kind of stuff. All of those things meant so much. All of those details, it's really Shenmue special. And I mentioned at the very beginning of this too, all of the characters that go into it, they all had a name, all had a background, they all had a blood type, they all had a birth date, you know what I mean? It's like every single detail, it's like he he wants to just immerse himself into it. So that's the main thing that I get from him whenever I speak to him about it. I talk to him about life sometimes. And he's actually a cool guy. He's people probably meet him and they're probably in all of everything he's done and all the great things that he's done for us as fans and everything. That they probably want to put him in reference or whatever. But when you get a chance to sit down and talk to him, he's just really a cool guy. He's really nice. He's really just warm, and I enjoy every moment that I spend with him. If it's just talking about life or if it's talking about Shenmue and video games in general, he's a great guy. And I hope people get a chance to meet him and just say hi to someone. He's cool. I like him a lot.
Awesome. Thank you so much for answering that question. So we just got some more. This is from Zyber. Okay, so he asked, I guess an observation of mine. I just finished Shenmue 3 and found the Chai Easter egg where you find his room and you find the poster of Chai's wife and kid, quote unquote. How did the director ask Corey to deliver the line, "There's no time for jokes"? Was he given context for it? Question mark.
How did I deliver the line? What's that? What was the line that he asked me about the delivery?
There's no time for jokes.
Oh, and the context with that?
Yes.
That was a pack of, believe it or not, some things were kept secret even from me. And like I said, in Shenmue 3 was a little bit different, where they even hid some of the ending from me as well. And some of those Easter eggs were hidden from me as well. And I'm not sure why they did that, because in Shenmue 1 and 2, we voiced it not exactly in order, but a lot in order. You know what I mean? I got a chance to understand how things were happening as I was voicing it. And I mentioned before, I was playing the game myself, so it was pretty in order. And there was a lot of context involved, and I understood all of the script was there. They actually gave me literally paper scripts like this. It's like they gave me a Bible every day to read. It was so thick.
Wow.
But Shenmue 3 was a little bit different, and it may have been for time as well, because they may have been trying to create that content as I was voicing it. So I can't give you an exact on that, because things in Shenmue 3 were a little bit different. So not everything was given to me in context, and not everything was given to me as far as seeing it on screen as well. Again, because I think time was tight. So they didn't have everything rendered for us to see. So we didn't get a chance to see everything, unlike Shenmue 1 and 2, where everything was already made for us as English voice actors, I should say, and we got a chance to see everything. But sometimes we didn't get a chance, unfortunately, to know everything that we were voicing at the time.
Wow. Okay.
And yeah, so that's how hype things were sometimes. And some of those scenes were going back and forth. They had us voice some of those scenes. I had to go on after where it was, or where Grove was, or wherever, right? So, and then that scene would come back, maybe because when they were creating it, I had to voice it again. I had to get strict time constraint, or maybe they changed it in some way and they had me to do it again. That sort of thing, So we didn't get everything in Shenmue 3, so sometimes we were a little bit blind, but we did the best we could, and I think we did have a lot of reference, and we did have a lot of either script involved as well, but not all, and not all.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for answering that. We got another question. This is from Sobs. Do you think your life experiences post Shenmue 2 helped shape your version of Ryo in Shenmue 3?
Well, Hazuki's still pretty young, so I have to go back and remember who I was at the time to kind of find that character again. But yes, absolutely, everything that I have learned as far as my life lessons, yes, I definitely bring that into the life that I give Hazuki. But even me having my child, my daughter, makes me realize how important a parent's love is for their child. So when I hear, family relationships between Shenhua and her family, or her father, and things like that, that we get to hear about in Shenmue 3, brings that sort of, those feelings definitely conjure in me when I'm voicing so all of my life and my martial arts training and all of the disciplines that I've gone through have helped me when I was to bring that character to life. Any who is who's an actor definitely pulls from all of their life experiences as much as they possibly can to bring the characters to life. So yeah, I think when it comes to Red, right, I think about people that I don't get along with, but I somehow still like, or you know what I mean? It's like, or maybe somebody you work with, or you know what I mean? It's like all those experiences that I have had as a person, I definitely bring forth. So yes, the short answer is yes.
So, thank you so much for answering. So we got another question. Actually, this is more of a statement. Is it I'll ask the question. Is it true that your daughter is in Shenmue 3?
Yes, it is. She is in Shenmue 3. She comes up a few times. She plays two little girls, and then when you do QTE and you run into one of the little boys, and if you mess up, that boy kind of walks away and cries. She plays her. She also, of course, the one where she has more lines is when she plays one of the little girls when you're playing hide and seek in Shenmue 3, and you have to go and find all of the kids around the village, and she is the little girl who ends up on the roof. And she's like, "Oh darn, you found me."
Oh, the one that's dangling her foot off the roof. Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
That's amazing. Okay, so that was awesome. My next question. And again, keep firing them out. I want us to be able to, ask as many questions as we can before we let the amazing Corey Marshall, end the stream. Obviously, once the stream ends. Oh, and before I ask my question, we will be doing a giveaway. I don't know how to do prize wheels, so the giveaway, I'm actually going to show you what it is really quick. It's not something crazy, but it is something that I think is amazing. So I'll be right back. I will be doing a small thing today as a thank you for everybody that joined. It is going to be an official mirror from GameStop. They're not easy to come by. I know it's not the most expensive and glamorous thing. Basically, what I'm going to do is, this is what we're going to be giving out. I've got one left. I told Corey earlier that I wanted to do a giveaway for the people that came in to say hi. Yes, this is cool. Yeah. Sorry, we just channeled you. So basically, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ask everybody after we finish up, right before the stream ends, to just who's ever in the chat to let me know, and then I'm gonna have Mr. Marshall pick a number between 1 and 20. And then you all ask it, and then whatever number you guys guess gets the medal. I will mail it out to you myself. I work from home, so it'll be mailed out in a bubble mailer. You won't have to pay for shipping or anything. It'll just be a thank you from us to you. So yeah, this is what will happen at the end of the stream. So my question to you, this is cool. Now I'm thinking about that. Look at that. This is cool. Before we say, has anybody seen the size discrepancy between the limited run games mirror and the GameStop mirror? So if you did the limited run games one, well then, if you win, I will send you a $5 gift card or something to Steam. I still want you to be in it. So if I want everybody that was in the channel today. Yeah, so the GameStop mirror is definitely slightly better. So I don't know if you even saw this, Corey. They did a limited run games edition of Shenmue 3. Yeah. And if you look at the size difference of the mirrors, the GameStop one is made out of metal. This one's almost made out of like a wood with like a lacquer on it. But yeah, that was the mirror you got for limited run games. So, so if you win, Steadley Shark, I'll send you like a $5 Steam card or something. It doesn't matter if you guys live in the UK. If you guys don't want me to mail it out, I will find something else. Not made of Phantom Riverstone, obviously fake. Okay, so my question, Corey, Mr. Marshall, is did Sega have any input on Shenmue 3?
Officially, no, because and we talked about this too, about like, you know, legal stuff and who owns the rights to everything, even the name Shenmue, all of the characters, even the music, who owns the rights to the music and all that kind of stuff, right? That all that stuff had to be hashed out, and that's why. First of all, that's why it took so long. Yu Suzuki had to figure all that stuff out. He'd been working on it for a long time before you and I dreamed about, you know, the E3 event where we heard the announcement, right? Like all this stuff had been working on for a long time. So yeah, officially Shenmue 3. I'm sorry, Sega had nothing to do with Shenmue 3. That was all supposed to be officially done with Yu Suzuki, YSNet, or YSNet, his new company, and all that stuff. So that is all supposed to be taken over by Yu Suzuki and his new company. All that official business, and legally speaking, yes. Sega had nothing to do with Shenmue 3.
Okay. Thank you so much for answering. We just got another question. They're starting to roll in now. People are getting, they're like, no, we don't want him to leave. Chain him to his... Okay, so the question is, was Suzuki required to change the logo? Again, you might not know this. He even said you might not know it because it could have been like a legal thing, and obviously they're not including a lot of the talent with legal stuff because why burden you with it?
I actually don't know that. There might be some information about that floating around. I don't know that, and you guys can probably imagine with a major company like Sega, all that stuff is very difficult to navigate legally. There's just an army of lawyers out there trying to figure all this stuff out. So the short answer is I don't officially know.
Well, thank you so much for answering that as well. I actually have a couple more questions as well, and then we'll wrap it up. We'll do I'll message you. You can tell me what your number is between 1 and 20. So anybody that lives in the United Kingdom, first of all, I hope you're safe. I know things are going on in your country just like they're going in ours, and I hope you guys are staying safe, self-isolating. Whoever wins in England, or we can do it one of two ways. I can either do the Shenmue medal. Again, it's not about the money now. I can do the Shenmue medal, or I can send out $10 via Steam or $10 via PayPal to anybody instead. That way you can get yourself a game on Steam, Or if you guys want the medal, I can do the medal as well. But for the people in England, I will send out a $10 Steam card or a $10 PayPal for the giveaway winner. Again, that's just a thank you for spending time with us. And again, a huge thank you again to Corey, Mr. Marshall, for spending this time with us. So I just wanted to hash that out before we answer more questions. So, my question, when Yu Suzuki was making Shenmue 3, I see little hints to Sega stuff in Shenmue 3. And I was curious if he did it without asking or if he got permission. Like, again, I know you don't, I know you love Shenmue and you know Virtua Fighter, you know Fighting Vipers. So you know, like, when you go to the arcades, you don't see anything that you can play that's like a Virtua Fighter, but you see the Virtua Fighter 3 posters, the official Sega posters. Were those allowed to be in there, or do you think Yu Suzuki just put them in and kind of like with the whole motto of if you ask, it's easier to ask for forgiveness and permission? Because they put them in there a lot.
Already bedtime.
Yeah. So I can tell you this: certain things are allowed, legally speaking, like certain images and stuff like that can be used. That permission does have to be gotten, though. You know what I mean? That any image that's supposed to be shown, even if it's official Sega or not, if it's not official, like if they change it in some way, like they did in Shenmue 3, as far as some of the games and stuff like that is concerned, then it's like they changed it enough to make it their own. But if an official image and stuff like that, yes, they still have to get permission, and that all of those things they were able to put into the game is because they just said, we'd love to put this in the game. There was capacity expressed permission and all that kind of stuff. I can say that's for sure.
So yeah, that's okay, awesome. Because like I noticed like a little things, and I know all of us that love you and love Shenmue notice little things. Like I noticed, like when you're on the docks, you see the arcade machines, and those literally are the same arcade machines that you see in Yakuza, the same exact Astro machine. So I was wondering if they did get that permission. I also noticed that you do see Sega vending machines. The little toy capsules say Sega at the top of them. So I was always curious if there was some sort of permission that was given. So
yeah, and that should pay homage to Sega and and all that kind of stuff. So all those little kind of things you see is it's just kind of like saying, hey, it's kind of like a little shout out, you know what I mean? So yeah, anytime you see an official Sega logo or for Sega or anything like that, that all has to, you have to get permission from that, and that's just kind of like playing a march, you know what I mean? So that's how that goes.
Okay, so here's a question. In the final castle of Shenmue 3, I saw a little Easter eggs, like a Shenmue 4 book and a book that said free, Full Reactive Eyes Entertainment. I don't know if that was a question or a statement, but everybody knows that Fully Reactive Eyes Entertainment was the genre that Yu Suzuki created for Shenmue. So, if the question is, do you think a Shenmue 4 is going to happen, in Corey's non-solicited opinion, he thinks yes, we all hope so. Like, I even tried to PayPal Corey just now. He apparently didn't want to take it right now, so maybe I'll convince him after to, just take my PayPal and get it going. Just see if we can push it out now.
But yeah, for anybody who may not have heard that, I have some confidence that Shenmue 4 will happen, just because of successful Kickstarter campaign, other companies that got involved, and our success in selling here in the United States and other places like the UK and stuff like that. So
okay, so
I have confidence that Shenmue 4 will happen.
So Sobe just asked another question as well. Were you asked to voice in Shenmue Online? ? Were you asked to voice Ryozuki in that? He doesn't know if you can answer that or not legally, but he's curious.
I can't answer that because the answer is no. I was not asked to voice anything on. Yep, because a lot of people know there was a lot of development. There was even some stuff that came out that's been floating around on the internet for a long time. But unfortunately, I was not asked to do anything with the voices of Shenmue Online. Oh, and other times too that Hazuki shows up with the racing games and all that kind of stuff. That voice, any of those voices that you hear Hazuki showing up in other games, actually was stuff that had already recorded for Shenmue 1 and 2 that they had just transplanted and put into those games too. So I didn't get a chance to voice those games separately, but that's just data that they had previously recorded that they had the chance to put into other games.
Do you still get royalties on that, or no? If they use
as far as Shenmue is concerned, we get paid for the work that we do. So it's not like a big Hollywood film where you get paid over time, like you said, royalties and stuff like that. A lot of the voice acting stuff that we do, even for huge projects, is you just get paid by the hour. So
okay.
It depends on the project, but that's how Shenmue was done.
Okay, next question. I love that people are asking questions like this is why me and you wanted to do this. Were you told about the Sonic racing game, or did you find out by yourself?
Well, say that again.
Were you told that you were going to be in the Sonic racing game, or did you find out about it by yourself?
Oh, yeah. I found out about myself. Yeah. And that's kind of like one of those things that I found out at the same time the other fans did. You know what I mean? So it was kind of like. In fact, I hadn't even played the game yet, and somebody had even asked me. They're like, "Oh, did you know about you showing up?" Oh no! What did they say? They said, I think they said something like, "Oh, I didn't know that you did the Sonic racing game," and I was like, "Oh yeah, me neither."
Me neither. Dude, did you? So earlier in oh my god, that's funny. Can you imagine your daughter? Your daughter's like, "I want to get this game, Dad," and you're like, you start playing it, and you're like, "Holy crap, I'm in this game."
Yeah. So it's kind of it was one of those things. It's because Sega owned all of the basically when I put it into my Sega owns it, so they can take that voice and put it into future projects or whatever. You know what I mean? That's how that works. Once that comes out of my body and enters their microphone, so they get whatever they want with it. You know what I mean? So that's how that came about.
There's gonna be forklift commercials one day with your voice in it. It's gonna be like famous Usenet forklift commercials. You're gonna be on the side of darts. So, what else we got, guys? Because I want to let him go soon. He's been with us for almost over 2 hours, and again, I would stay on with him indefinitely if I could. I would just sit here and just ask questions, but eventually we do have to let him go. A pack of somebody just said I want a pack. I would love. You know what I want? I want the damn I want the Band-Aids from Shenmue that they were giving out. So that would be amazing. All right, so real quick, Corey, I'm going to message you on Zoom for your number between 1 and 10. So let me. Hopefully nobody sees this. Pick your number between 1 and 20, and then everybody that wants to be in the raffle really quick, just put put I giveaway or whatever into the chat. Whoever's in here for the chat, and if you are in England. I'll do a $10 gift card. It'll be a $10 Steam card or a PayPal. And if you're in America, you will get you'll get the Shenmue medal or the choice of the giveaway.
So in the chat, you want me to give a number?
Yeah, I sent it to you via Zoom instead, so people can't see it. So yeah, so I'll know your number. It'll be one out of 1 and 10 since we don't have a lot of people in here. Okay, got it. All right, everybody. Pick your number. Go ahead. I already have Corey's number, so go ahead and pick what you think it is. It's a 1 in 10 chance. Okay, 7-3. Okay. Roll it on top. Okay, so since 3 people entered, we're gonna go off of the closest winner. So the number was 9. So the winner is Zyber. Congratulations, Zyber. Yes, you are in England, so after the stream ends, I will whisper you. I'll just need your PayPal. And lucky 7, baby. 777. And I will send you, you have your choice of a $10 Steam card, or I could just PayPal you $10 as a thank you for everybody that watched tonight. And, oh, you're in the U.S. Okay, so do you want the gift card or do you want the medal? It's up to you. What would you like? It is your choice. Oh, thank you very much. You know, I stream, you know, just like Corey wants to make the world better with his voice and Ryozuki. I stream because I love people and I want people to be immersed into the world that I've loved so much, which is video games. Okay, perfect. You'll take the medal. So after this, I'll whisper you. I'll get your address and I'll send it on out to you first thing, probably tomorrow for you. All right. So everybody, thank you so much for watching tonight. Thank you so much for all the follows, and just a huge thank you to Corey. You were absolutely amazing, and I hope to have you back in here again. So remember, guys.
Yeah. It's been a great time. I love coming back.
Awesome. All right, so I'm going to end the stream now. Again, thank you everybody that joined, and Zyber, look out for my whisper right after the stream. And I hope to see you guys back in here again. I play a lot of vintage Sega Saturn games. I play a lot of Dreamcast games. It's kind of like what I've been streaming for the last year and a half. So thank you so much for everybody that joined. You guys have all been amazing. And remember, it appears that Londi... And remember, it appears that Londi will try to make use of both mirrors. All right, guys. Thank you.